Dear students, welcome to the knowledge series. Today we will be discussing on genetic algorithm. Before we discuss about genetic algorithm core, let's talk about soft computing. I believe that you have gone through my earlier video series on fuzzy logic neural network. So soft computing basically it refers to the collection of a computational technique in computer science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and many of the engineering disciplines. And it is to study, model, and analyze the complex task. So here, the soft computing, we have shown the three attributes: fuzzy, neural network, and genetic algorithms. Now, if you talk about fuzzy logic means that it is basically an approach to compute based on the degree of a truth or a vagueness rather than the true value. So that is how we term the fuzzy. Or in another word, we can say that a fuzzy logic make a decision based on the raw or ambiguous data. That means we use a linguistic terms to solve the problem. Whereas when you talk about a neural network, it's connecting various computing systems or nodes by mimicking the biological neurons. So that's how we terms the neural network. Or we can say that a neural network concentrates on the structure of human brain. That's how it learns from the data. So that's how the neural network works. Genetic algorithms, it's the total discussions that we are going to have it. But still then, when we talk about a genetic algorithm, you have to understand that basically genetic algorithm is used in a search technique or it is a search technique in computing to find the exact approximate or exact solutions to the optimizations and search problems. So that is another way of terming the genetic algorithms. Or we can say this one in the form of that it is a method basically to solve the unconstrained or a constraint optimizations problems based on natural selections. So that is, we will talk about it more. Now to understand these three things as a layman concept, let me give an examples. Assume that there is a office clerk working in organizations, and his duty is to transfer a file from one location to other. And we are taking considerations with respect to the fuzzy situations. Now, under the fuzzy situation, if the office clerk need to transfer, if he is not having any awareness, then automatically there should be a method by means of which he will be directed to take that file from a particular locations to the other location. So in that case, some symbolic representation or some linguistic type of terms is being we can able to use. Say for example, if it is in the first floor, we can say up. And if it is a particular room number, instead of telling the room number, we can say that after first, second, or third room, like that, instead of telling the number, if that particular person is not able to read the particular language, or that particular person is not an educated person. If that situation, so the fuzzy situations I have been put across. Now let's take a case of a neural network. That same person, we started working in that organizations, and the management felt that okay, we have to train that particular person. So after training that person by giving a education as well as giving an awareness, everything, that person is capable to do more better work as compared to the file transfer, just a file transfer. So in that conditions, we put that person under the category of a neural network. Now you know that in the case of a neural network, what I have stated is that it tries to learn based on the instructions or based on the guidance of their superior or the teachers. So the neural network is a platform where the individual and the person is in a positions to or capable to take a decisions by self. Now assume that third case. Assume that that person is being put under the genetic algorithm. So automatically, what we do is that we will try to look for a further enhancement of that person. Is that maybe that that person child a later part he is having a later part of his life he is having a child, and the child grows up and joins in that office. So automatically he is more capable, and he finds that he can do still better work as compared to just a file transfer or as compared to what his father or a mother was doing. So in that particular situations, the improvement that he finds from his father or a mother, that is the part we consider under the genetic algorithm. This is a simple way I can put this soft computing and of these three classes for a layman to understand. One is not having an awareness, another is that the awareness is built up by learning, and third case is that it is with respect to the new population that is being generated for the genetic algorithm. Now with this concept, we are straightway going to the genetic algorithm. Now the term genetic, it's a branch of a botany concerned with the study of gene. That is means what the genetic means. And the algorithm, it means it's a process or a set of rules to be followed for the problem solving operations. So the genetic algorithm as a whole, I repeat again, it's a method for solving any problem with whether it is a constrained or a unconstrained, that optimizations problem based on the natural selections. So that is what we term this one. Now when we talk about this word natural selections, we remember the great scientist or the great discoverer, our Charles Robert Darwin. This is the photograph of the Charles Robert Darwin. Charles Darwin, he formulated the fundamental principle of natural selections as the main evolutionary tools. So this is his concept on the natural selections. And you know that the Origin of Species that was written by the Charles Darwin, where he stated the theory of a natural selections evolutions. Now if you see, the genetic algorithm are a part of a evolutionary computing, a rapidly growing area of artificial intelligence. That is the today's trend in the artificial intelligence, how the genetic algorithm is contributing. Now genetic algorithms are inspired by Darwin's theory about the evolution's survival of fittest. So that's how the genetic algorithms is showing the theory with respect to the survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest in terms with respect to the finding of the new population from the weakest one. Or the basic technique led by the Charles Darwin is the survival of the fittest, and it is dominated over the weakest ones. So we can say that Charles Darwin, of course it's not a statement, but we can say that he was a great computer scientist of that period, because today in the field of computer or in the field of electronics, you will find that, or in the field of engineering as a whole, and the Charles Darwin concept is being followed even in the area of management also. The theory of the Charles Darwin has touched to almost all the discipline with respect to the natural selections of evolutions. So that's how the contributions of the genetic algorithm has started. So we say that genetic algorithm actually this was invented to mimic some of the process observed in the natural selections. Now basically the basic technique of the genetic algorithms it is to simulate the process of a natural systems. That is very important for us to note, and this was first laid by Charles Darwin based on the survival of the fittest. Now we will go to the next figure. This figure is of the Professor John Henry Holland. He is a professor of psychology and of a computer science engineering at the University of Michigan, and we normally denote him as the father of the original genetic algorithms. So when we consider the Charles Darwin, we consider as the basic founder of the genetic evolutions. So how the genetic evolutions has to be analyzed, that was laid by the Charles Darwin, and that genetic evolutions based on the natural selections, it was the basic idea behind that led the Professor John to carry on his work in the area of genetic algorithms. So way back in 1960, John invented the genetic algorithms, and that provided a number of theorems about that particular GA concept, and he laid even a learning classifier systems using his day of work under the particular study of genetic algorithms. Now we go further furthermore to understand the genetic algorithm. Let me put some of the term is that genetic algorithms also we term it as it is an adaptive heuristic search algorithm. It is a adaptive heuristic search algorithm. Now when we hear the word heuristic is a heuristic basic search is basically a search strategies, and that search strategies basically attempt to optimize the problem based on the iterative methods. Thereby we can able to improve the performance or improve the solutions. So that is what we terms with respect to the genetic algorithms basic concept on the heuristic. Or we can say that heuristic takes a look at a search algorithms. That is what we terms. So based on that, we see this particular figure. Now in this particular figure, you can observe that there is a process, and in this particular process, we are giving a input set of inputs, and we are going to see the output set of output. Now what exactly this optimizations means? Now optimization is a process. Basically it is for making something better. You are giving some input and you are producing an output, and if the output is not appropriate, if you have gone through my previous series on the neural network, what we do, we give a feedback and we'll try to go for a further improvement. So in any process, when we have an input and output, and we want to go for a better improvement, so optimizations finds the value of the output and try to see that if the value of the output is not achieved to the target, then it try to look for the improvement, or in some in another word, we try to look for a gradient optimizations, or we try to search for this particular see here you can see that we go for a Gaussian conditions. In the Gaussian conditions, we look for a global optima, local optima on the maximum side, or global minima, or a local minima. So so that's how we try to look for the improvement in the case of this search. Now if you go further with respect to these optimizations, you have to understand that in the case of a genetic algorithm, this optimizations technique is applying the gradient based methods. In the gradient based methods, what we try to see is that how we can able to achieve a global optima, or a local optima, still local optima, like that local optima we can able to try to create. Now this is a iterative methods by means of which we try to look for the best solutions under the class of a genetic algorithm. Because in the genetic algorithm we go as the definition, you know that we go for the optimization, and in the real world solutions we have a complex problem, and this complex problem is just like a landscape where there may be many peaks will be there, there may be many valleys, valley will be there, and understanding this peak and the valley where we want to move, that depend upon our inherent factors, and based on the inherent factor, wherever we stuck, suppose in the case of a neural network, if you want to go to the minimum side, you have to increase the weight, that we terms. In the same way, in the genetic algorithm, we are doing optimizations, and where how we have to optimize, and that depend upon the inherent features, and that inherent features we have to modify so that we will be able to reach to the best results. That best result is what we call as a set of output under the optimizations condition. So there are many optimization tools. One of this tool is genetic algorithm. So that is how we can say, or we say that set of possible solutions or values for the given input, we may try to use a search space. So this is a search space technique, and in the search space what lies is the set of points, and that set of points gives the optimal solution. So if you want to go to this particular point, then you have to travel at every moment. Every moment you travel, you get a better result. Or you want to climb up to this point, so every time you do iterative steps, then you will getting a better solutions. So that is what we mean. So the aim of the optimization is to find a point or a set of points in the search place. So that is what we terms with respect to the genetic algorithms. Now here you try to see a figure with respect to the giraffe. Now what that particular figure exactly indicates? The figure indicates that as per the Charles Darwin, Charles Darwin stated that initially giraffe necks were small, but giraffe were dependent on the tall tree for their foods. So that's how their neck started stretching because of the number of generations. So giraffe longer neck may be due to the effect of a mutation. Mutation is a part of a genetic algorithm. That's why I used the word generations, because of the effect of generations. and that how the generations which was in the earlier generation, the neck which was small, and later on that generation has made that neck to stretch. So and it was propagated over a generation. So mutation initially, and it was propagated over the generation. So this is what we terms with respect to the genetic algorithms concept. So so this is what the another example of a genetic algorithms with respect to the optimizations for a easy understanding for you to look across. Now we go further. Let us see some of the genetic algorithm fundamentals. This is very important for you to understand. Now here some of the terms which you can see I have narrated with the figure. Now the first point I have put across is the word cell, chromosome and DNA. Now you know that all our life is made out of a cell, and all cell is there in the all living body, and if it is a human body, except the red blood cell, it contains the chromosomes. So that is certain point is that. Now before we talk about this chromosome, let me put it that if you take a cell, the nucleus point, the inside point, it is a chromosome, and chromosome it's a part of this cell, and each chromosome is made out of DNA. So this is the figure of the chromosome, and this is made out of a DNA. And when we talk about DNA, the DNA contains genes, and these genes are passed from a parents to child under the case of the mutations. That is what we have seen in the earlier point, is that effect of mutations initially as propagated over a generation. So what exactly the mutation means? It is a change that occurs in the DNA. A changes whichever occurs in this one is DNA is called as a mutation. Or alternately, in the genetic material of a cell, of a living organisms, that new living cell which is forming, that is because of the impact of the mutations. Now when we talk about chromosome itself, so chromosome is that term or that word which has come from the Greek, that is known as chroma, that means a color, and soma means body. So chromosome is made from a DNA molecules. This formation is from a DNA molecule, and you can see that several DNA molecule that leads to the common chromosome, and it is found, and where it is found? It is found inside the cell. So you can find that the entire genes or the DNA content is there inside this. Now what is DNA? DNA stands for deoxyribose nucleic acid. So that is what the DNA stands for. So DNA molecules, basically it contain a genetic code, and that genetic code is made from a sequence of a amino acid. So that is the biological terms that we use it. But in our genetic algorithm, we will be using in terms of binary digits to discuss. The genetic code is basically unique for a person. That is very important to understand. And when we talk about a DNA, this string, it's a very complex molecules, and we call it as nucleotides. And these DNA contains the genetic informations of the life. So that's how the DNA stores the information. And this concept we try to mimic in the form of a artificial way in the genetic algorithms. Now we use the word gene. Gene comes from the Greek word, it is called gene. So it means the origin. And the gene, where it is located? It is located on a chromosome. And you have to understand that every factor that inherent is due to the factor of the gene. that is very specific, and the gene specify the structure of the particular protein contains of each cell. So that is what the gene, or we say that DNA are the gene are the shortest or short sections of the DNA. So that is how the gene, you can see in this figure, the DNA is this one, inside that the gene is being shown, and each gene contain a code that specific sequence of the amino acid. So how that particular amino acid has to stay, that's how the gene will determine. So you can see the gene is a part of the DNA. DNA is a part of the chromosome. Chromosome is the central of the cell. So that's how you can try to visualize. Now we have talked about the gene, DNA, and chromosomes. Now gene is if you look the difference between the gene and chromosomes, the difference is that gene is located on a chromosome, and whereas the chromosome are packed structure of the DNA with proteins. So that is how you have to look into. And genes are not visible under microscopes, whereas chromosome is visible under microscope. And a single gene is we termed it as it is a locus of the chromosome, and a single chromosomes contain many genes. So that's the one of the important content about this gene and its concept. So that we have discussed that one at this particular point. Now let's go to the other area. Now we will talk about a certain terminology. Terminology like populations. The second terminology is a population. Now what exactly the populations means? Now if you look across to the basic structure of a gene and its populations in the binary forms, you have to understand that, as I told you, is as I stated right now with respect to gene and its chromosome as well as the cell, what I have stated is that gene is located in a chromosome. So that means if you see this particular figure, in this figure every bit is a gene. Every bit is a gene. That is what he has shown. If you are taking this particular bits, so how many bits is there? This is the 8-bit. This 8-bit if you are taking, so you are having 8 genes. So this collection of genes, or that is known as chromosome. That is what I stated, is the gene is located on a chromosomes. And when we talk about this next content is the populations. The populations is nothing but a number of chromosomes that put together will lead to the populations. So that means if you are having this one chromosome, another chromosome, like that, if your whole grid is filled with the total chromosome, then it will lead to a populations. So that you have to keep that particular terminology understand. So we say that a population is a subset of a possible encoded solutions to a given problem. So when we have to when you think about a population problem, then first we go to the chromosome, then we have to see the chromosome problem, then we go to the gene. So that's how we distribute. So a population of a genetic algorithm is analogs to the populations for a human being. So that is how we term it as. Now you all know that now we all are under the crunch of COVID-19. So because of the COVID-19, the government is taking a precautionary measures. What government is doing? Government is dividing into a red zone, green zone, like that one. And if it is a red zone, then he is creating that restriction of the peoples to move here, people movement, and making a home quarantine or a room quarantine. Like that, the government is implementing good health measures. So first government goes to the area, that is a population. Then government goes to individual groups, so that is known as chromosome. Inside the groups, individual persons, that is known as gene. Like that also you can take it into considerations. Now when we talk about chromosomes, chromosomes in terms of a genetic algorithm terms, a chromosome is one such solutions to a given problem. So that is what means. Gene is a one element or a positions of a chromosomes. So that is what I have told. Now allele. Allele is basically it's the value of the gene takes on a particular chromosome. So whether if it is a 0, so this allele has a different solutions. If it is a 1, allele has a different solution. So that is how it is the value of the gene takes for a particular chromosomes. That is, you have to keep it in your mind. Now the next point is that genotype. Now when we talk about a genotype problem, the genotype is basically a populations in a computational space. And when we want to computational space means in a actually in the computational space, if you want to look for the solutions, you have to manipulate certain variables, and that variable in terms of a genotype will give a computational space so that a final solutions can take place. Or in another word, we say that in the computational space, the solutions are represented in a way that can be easily understood and manipulated in a computing systems. Phenotype is basically it is evolved from the genotype. Now phenotype is the populations in the actual real world solution space, and that solutions represent the real world situations. That means if you are having a genotype some values, from genotype you can create a phenotype, just like you are converting a binary digit into a decimal numbers. See, you are having a 0 1 and you are converting into a decimal. So what you do is that you do 1 into 2 to the power of 0 plus 0 into 2 to the power of 1. So you get solutions as 1. So that's how the phenotype is been evolved from the genotype. Now coming to the decoding and encoding of the genotype representations. Now coming to the if you look across the genotype and the phenotype representations, the figure here it has shown the genotype is shown in this figure, and the phenotype solutions. So once you decode it, you go to the phenotype and then you return back. So for a simple problem, the phenotype and the genotype space are basically the same for the solutions. However, in most of the case, the phenotype and genotypes are different because depending upon the problems that you encounter. And decoding is the process of transforming a solutions from a genotype to phenotype, and encoding is basically is the process of transforming phenotype to genotype. And here you have to understand decoding should be you have to carry out in such a way that the solutions will not get stuck, and the genetic algorithm will able to calculate various attributes that we will be discussing in our next series, where the fitness value calculations can be taken place at appropriate time. So the phenotype consists of a solutions to a search based technique, and that's how we try to use this particular terminology for understand for the genetic algorithm purpose. Now here one more two more terms I want to use it. Here we have used the mutations, and also we have used the Charles Darwin survival of fittest. Fittest functions is basically defined as the functions which take the solutions as an input. Like here we take a solution as a input and produce a suitable solutions as the output. In some cases, what we see the fitness functions or the objective functions or the goal, it remains the same. If you talk about a fitness function, it is same as what we are looking for, that is the objective functions. And it varies for a depending upon the needs. For one problem, the solutions, you will be having a number of solutions, and that solution depend upon how you select the fitness value. And finally, we will be talking in the next point of a segment, the very important about the genetic algorithm operators. So with this, I conclude about the genetic algorithm basic at this particular point.